Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino. Now, I was almost willing to convince myself that this gentleman, James A. Castillo, he, him, of course he has pronouns in his bio, but I was almost willing to convince myself that this person was an AI profile created by Seth Rogen to drum up fantagonism, or even more fantagonism, against his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film. So the other day, Senor Castillo put out this tweet. The new TMNT film is out. Hashtag TMNT movie. When I joined hashtag Mutant Mayhem, my first assignment was to work on April O'Neil. No pressure. We tried making her relatable and grounded in the real world while keeping some of the details that make her so iconic. I personally love her in the film.
Give that guy a manual.
Now, as soon as I saw, I sent the tweet to my brother. I sent it over Signal, like your boy Elliot from Mr. Robot. So anyway, just sent him the tweet. And his response was, "What kind of fuckery is this?" And, "Man, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here." Okay, if these were creature designs, that'd be one thing. She looks like a monster, in these early designs. Like the first one of the three in this one little image, she looks retarded. And then the last one, she just looks like some psycho serial killer person. She's supposed to be a woman, a person, and this guy is saying grounded and relatable when she looks hideous. Like even the final design, she's shaped like one of the turtles, right? And then she looks like there's nothing April about it when he says trying to retain her iconic look. What? A hint of having red hair and a little bit of yellow on her clothes or something? There's nothing iconic about it at all that's left. There was no need to even race swap this character. They could have just made just some black character if that's what they wanted. And this is what I mean about the fantagonism thing. She was purposely designed to be unattractive. For SJWs, feminists, activists, their whole thing is all of geek entertainment is overrun and embraced by straight white men who are racists, misogynists, etc., etc. So the antithesis to their main enemy when it comes to popular entertainment, the straight white man, is a strong black woman. And then, like I keep saying, with a black woman, not only do you get ethnic representation points, but you can also use her as add additional things, like a template where you can you can do add-ons to her for other activist concerns, right? So you can have a black woman and you can make her body positive. And then you can have a black woman who's body positive, who's ugly, so she can defeat the male gaze. Then you can have a black woman who's body positive and ugly that defeats the male gaze, but also you can make her a lesbian for queer representation. And you can just go on and on and on. You can make her trans if you want, but whatever. So there's no real defense for this. I've been complaining about this for a while. I did a video about the horrible poster for the Marvels and how I was observing that they almost always seem to pick the most busted black women they could find, or just average, or they just pick black women to be character roles, Octavia Spencer type women, Whoopi Goldbergs or whatever. They don't really go out of their way, and they don't have to actually do this. They don't have to go out of their way to get attractive black women and put them in roles. This is something even when I was a kid, my mother, grandmother talk about this actress that they knew. She was really pretty, but she would never get roles. And the person who would always get the role would always be unattractive. And it was always this sense that these white women, casting directors, just didn't want to pick competition. Not just competition personally, but just as far as the media went. Even the design, the final design for April, she just looks like the type of woman you would see at the DMV or something. Unattractive, unhappy black woman who just wants you to fill out the paperwork, don't ask her any questions, go sit down and wait till your number is called. That's the vibe that I get just looking at that character. I thought this tweet was funny, where they're showing you, classic April from the cartoons to what these assholes came up with as an early concept for April. It's there was no point. Fuck off. There was no point in race swapping April. If there was no point to do it. People grew up with April. people like April as she is. Nerds are very particular about this sort of thing. And to just change it and then act like there's something wrong with you for complaining about the change. Like, no other situation in life would people just accept something of theirs, and they're not even talking about owning it, but something that their memories, their understanding of like the lore and the details. No other situation could you make those changes without these people complaining. There were people who were mad. I remember when Zoe Saldana did that role. I don't even know if that movie ever came out, for Nina Simone, and how people lost their shit, rightfully, that they had Zoe Saldana play Nina Simone, and then the makeup they put her in to make her look. Now, in that situation, because they don't actually consider Zoe Saldana black, they were like, okay, this is wrong, we hate it. But when it comes to April O'Neil, they're defending it. There were people in the replies to this, how do progressive black people not see this as an insult, going, like, pretending, like, minimizing it, saying, oh, normal people don't care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No one said anything about normal people. They're talking about progressives who are pushing this shit. They're talking about activists who are like, defeat the male gaze and more black representation, and yet they're picking and creating these ugly black women and having the nerve to say that these women are grounded and relatable. Look at this person. What's grounded and relatable about them? And even, like I said, even the one that they finally designed. How could you, regular black woman, looking at that person and going, yep, that's me. So it's fine for it to be in media. Like, you would have to think that this is an attractive character. Otherwise, you would have to look at it and go, all right, this is doing too much. This is not what I asked for, but whatever. What's funny about this James A. Castillo guy, I hadn't noticed it the first time I looked at his profile, is that the banner on his profile is for something called Madrid Noir. Now, I did a little quick Google search on it because the character looks black and it looks like a little cute black girl. She got a little French beret or something that looks like, and apparently he won an Emmy for this. I don't know if this character is actually black or she's just brown skin. It seems to be about a little girl and her dog in late 30s, early 40s, something like that, running around trying to find her missing uncle, who just seems like a white guy. I don't know, but you know how thoughtless they are when it comes to inclusion and diversity. They have black women playing the Queen of England and Cleopatra, so who knows what's going on with it. She looks black and she looks cute. So this guy can create cute black girls and cute black women, but it was clearly mandated in this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film that April not only be race swapped to black, but that she has to be ugly, because that's what's going to rile fans up. We can call the racists for calling the character ugly and for complaining that the character is fat. And we could pretend that it's not an issue when they know it is an issue, that they're taking people's shit, messing it up, using black women as a political cudgel against their enemies. And then they're being praised for it. And it's funny because people know. Even the people who don't want you to complain about it, just don't want you to complain about it. They don't actually have a defense for it. They either pretend that April is a minor, like that piece of shit, Angry Joe, when he went after Eric July and some other people who complained about the character. For some reason, he was talking about nobody, cares about how sexually attractive a 12-year-old is or something. And April O'Neil's not fucking 12. And some asshole just replied to this other tweet where it's like, how do progressives not see this as an insult to black people? And the person said, because most people are not worried about how attractive a minor is. So what the fuck are you talking about? Clearly, April's an old grown black woman who looks like she watched Oprah back in the day, and she's mad that her kids are being bad at school, and she got to go work down at the DMV, and she's tired of people complaining about, getting their licenses suspended and not knowing how they need to get their license back. So, whatever. There was one person who was just like, oh, regular, normal people, they don't care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What does that have to do with the people who do care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? But that's what they try to do. They just try to deflect the issue or try to minimize it and try to shut people up. And it's one of those things where they can do that all they want, but it doesn't make the film successful, and it doesn't make anyone embrace it. You either complain about it openly, and then people who defend it just tell you not to complain about it, but it doesn't make change. It doesn't make people feel like black women don't feel better about themselves because April O'Neil is shaped like one of the fucking turtles now, a black woman suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome. That's what they think of black women. And, this is the future that progressives want. And they're the good guys, so they know best.